What's up YouTube, Priority Cards here, doing another gameplay slash commentary of my friend using Aqua Force against Deletors at my locals yesterday. So today's topic is going to be about Aqua Force. And we've been seeing a lot of Aqua Force cards being released, like their effects and their art obviously, and I'd like to talk about them. So let's just start it off. The first card is that a lot of people are talking about is Thavas, the Thavas Strike. In my opinion, it's very lackluster because it's missing out a lot of good effects, because its GB3 effects is pretty bad, but it does have a decent first stride effect pretty much. So it's a G flip 1 in act skill, by the way. Choose up to one of your rear guards until end of the turn. It gets plus 5,000, and this unit can attack from back row until the end of their turn. So that's pretty good, because you could do that with a Tidal Assault and a back row, attack for 14 and protect your Tidal Assault. It does require a G-Flip, but doesn't require any Counter Blast or Soul Blast. The reason this card is very interesting is because of its name, Thavas. But we'll get to that later. Its other skill is Generational Break 3, Wave 4. So when this unit attacks for the 4th battle or more, it gets a skill. Choose 3 of your opponent's rear guards, and they choose one of them, and they retire it. So it's a Thavas skill, pretty much. That skill is really bad. It's not that good at all. For GB3 skill, it's really weak. If you are in GB1 or GB2, you'd obviously go for Lambros instead, not this card. But it does work great with the Thavas Grade 3 with Thavas Stride, because you have to retire 2 instead of 1, and you get the skills. So that's pretty decent. Overall, it's not the best card in the world, but its name Thavas is really important because it works with all the Thavas support works with this, and you could put it in any other decks, any other variants of Aqua Force, such as the Maelstrom variant, Tetra variant, maybe the Ripple variant, but I don't know about that one. But you can put it in many different variants, and you don't need to have a Thavas heart, which is a big key right here, because the Thavas support is really good in my opinion. So let's start off with the first card. Thavas support is a grade 1 7k Battle Siren Melania, whatever her name is. So it's auto Generational Break 1, Wave 3 or more. Counter Blast 1. When this unit attacks Vanguard, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Thavas in its name, you pay the cost. If you do, draw a card, and this unit gets plus 5k until the end of that battle. So that's really good, because you just go to Wave 3, and this unit gets plus 5k, and you draw a card for free. Just for Counter Blast 1. This deck, Aqua Force still barely Counter Blast, so this is still not a big deal. And you just need to go to Wave 3, which isn't that hard. You don't need a single enabler for that. And plus, with Thavas Stride, it gives plus 5k, it'll become 17. So that's really good. It also has resist on it, so against the Link Joker matchup, they cannot target it. They could still use a Break Crunch against it, but the best part is it cannot be targeted with the regular lock effects, which is a pretty big deal. It sucks against shadows, and I've been noticing just a lot of resist units for Aqua Force, which is like a double-edged sword. They do have a lot of good things about it, because Aqua Force had a bad time against the Link Joker matchup, but this fixes that. Against shadows, against Diablo, you cannot sacrifice them when Diablo attacks. If you have resist units, you cannot use them to sacrifice, so you cannot guard, which sucks. But I guess you have to make a sacrifice in order to fix the matchup. But still a pretty decent card overall. Another card is for the Thavas support is a grade 2 Battle Siren, a delayed, whatever her name is. So auto Generational Break 1, Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1 when this unit is placed on rear guard circle. So it's not like every turn, it's when it's placed. If your Vanguard is a grade 3 greater Vanguard with Thavas in its card name, you would hit a cost. If you do, this unit gets power 2000, and after this unit attacks the Vanguard, it restands. So that's really good, because if you put this with the Thavas Stride, it becomes a 16k restand, and from the back row. That's really good. It does require a Counter Blast and a Soul Blast, and we also got the Thavas crit trigger for it, which is just like the Chrono Jet crit trigger, So you just shove, when your Thav Vanguard attacks, shove to Soul, it gets plus 5k and draw a card. So that's one way to like build up Soul, or use your draw trigger to build up Soul, or use the unflip crit trigger to build up Soul. So there's many ways to build up Soul from here. But it is a Counterblast Soul Blast, which is a little bit of a heavier cost, but it does give you a pretty nice reward for it. And you can run this in your Maelstrom variants, you can run this in your Tetra variants. It all depends on how many you should run. I think it should be a low amount, but when you do get it, you can go to Thav Stride and work with that instead of lamp roasting, which is still an option right there. So that's really good. And besides the Thav support, there's been a lot of good Aqua Force support that's been coming out. Good support like for Grade 2 game, Early Rush. Since this title holds a big Early Rush card. So we have Mission Messenger Gold Soldiers, your grade 1 7k, just rank 1, wave 4 pretty much. At the end of the battle, this unit is boosted, return it to your hand, which isn't the big effect, but it's pretty nice to bounce it back. The real effect is Auto Soul Blast 1, when the unit is placed on rearguard circle, you may pay the cost. If you do choose up to one of your other units, it gets plus 3,000 till the end of the turn, which is really good because you can do that with the Tidal Soul to create great numbers from that. And that'll your Tidal Soul become 11 or 12, you attack your van, and restand, attack for 14, which is really good. And if you add it up with Thav Stride, it becomes 17k attacker. Then it goes to 12 plus your 12 by itself, which is really good. And you can use that 7k and just call somewhere else and attack your rear. If you have a grade 1 unit on the front row for some reason, like a 10k attacker or something, which is pretty decent. Another thing is about resist units. We did get a pretty nice like anti-link choker card. Pretty much GB1, your front row has resist, your front row rear guards have resist. It's really good. The card, it's a grade 3. His name is Ocean or Horseman Scaros or whatever. It does have another skill when it's facing Vanguard circle. You can give a unit wave 3. When it attacks, search top 5 for a grade 3 and add it to your hand, which is also decent. So it's a pretty decent card. Anti-link choker, really good in a matchup. We also have a nice Stride, which is Aristotle. Pretty much wave 3 or more, Counterblast 1, and choose up to one of your opponent's rearguard, retire it. So it's a target retire, which is really good. And it's like a Kagura card pretty much, which is really nice for Aqua Force. It just requires wave 3, which isn't that hard to do at all. So overall, the Aqua Force support's really good. And yeah, am I missing anything else? I believe not. I talked about everything right here. The Ripple support's also pretty decent. And we're still waiting on the Maelstrom support, whatever comes out for them. We still have to wait for Tetra. Tetra's probably going to be Metatron effect on it. It's going to be a pseudo cross stride, maybe. It looks like it, but we still have a chance it could be a stride. We still have 3 more triple rares that we haven't seen yet, as far as the time I'm recording this video. So there's still more to see for Aqua Force, but right now we're at a pretty decent start. The stride is pretty decent. It's gonna help. It's gonna give a big boost for Aqua Force. My stride lineup's gonna be like 4 Lambros, 2 Thav Stride, 1 Aristotle, maybe a Socrates or a Tidal Boar. We'll see what happens for the last one, but obviously Aristotle is really good. And Aqua Force right now pretty behind because of all these decks just going ahead of him from GBGO4, such as Guru Chronicles, Shadows, Royals, like the Shadows, Royals. What else we have? Bermuda Triangles. All these decks are really ahead, and also against Angel Feather, it's a horrible matchup from there because once you take a damage, your Gavril is going to be 13k base or even higher, and which sucks against Aqua Force because most of the attacks won't hit since they're just like 11k, 12k attacks, restand, which isn't that big of a number. So that's what sucks about that in that matchup. But overall, we've been seeing many good things for Aqua Force, and hopefully we see even more from there. Right now, if you see in the gameplays, the Deletor matchup's pretty bad. My friend using Aqua Force is running a pretty interesting build from it. And from here, his Vanguard 0, which is what Deletors do. And Deletors support's also really good, but I'll talk about that in another video, hopefully in the future. And from here, he lost, and this was a good game. So, like, subscribe, and peace out.